because I'm taking off what can be considered a legendary coilover, and I'm going to put on max speeding rods coilovers on this car. So that sounds kind of weird, right? Why would you take off such a good coilover that I call legendary and put on something with not such a strong track record? Well, I'll tell you this. These legendary coilovers that I'm on right now, I'm not super happy with how they are on the street. So what coilovers am I on? I'm on the Progress. I actually don't know what they're called. Progress CS2 Coilovers. Why am I not happy with them? Because number one, my car is pretty low, not super low. I'm actually going to post the exact measurements because I know the company that makes Progress CS2, they recommend a certain minimum ride height for their coilover to work, and if you are too low, they're gonna ride like crap. And I'm probably pushing that threshold right now. But I like the way the car looks. Again, this is not a car that's gonna be built for racing and track use. This is gonna be a street car with occasional, like very occasional track use, maybe once a year, if anything. The rest of like one day out of the year. The rest of the 364 days, I'm gonna have the car. It's gonna be a street car. I'm gonna drive it to get some donuts. I'm gonna drive it, take it to some meets. I'm gonna drive it to pick up groceries, things like that, because that to me is enjoyable when I'm riding around in a car like that. To look at it, I don't have to stress out. My adrenaline is not going from racing. I'm just chilling, you know. So this is primarily a street car. The car is going to be low. The car is going to be riding on not so clean roads. There's going to be stuff everywhere, and so I'm not 100% satisfied with them because they are kind of rough the way I have them set up. And I love the company Progress. They've been around for a very long time. That's why I call them a legendary coilover, because they probably are one of the longest tenured companies that make suspension for this car. They are sitting right up there with Eibach in terms of longevity, engineering, and quality. A lot of other companies use their technology and their parts as racing products. And you could go onto their YouTube channel and you could look for yourselves. These are like racing coilovers. They're used for racing. They do their engineering in-house. They dyno all their stuff. So it's not some product that's slapped together. It's some product with pedigree. So I have it on this car. I have a microphone here for my voice. I have a microphone clipped on in the back on top of the shock tower. So it allows you to hear some of the road noise that comes through, and that's the intention. Hopefully it comes through. I don't know yet. I'll post a picture of the mounting location. We're currently driving down Brookhurst in Anaheim between Little Saigon and the 5 freeway. These roads are not the smoothest, but they're also not the worst. Okay, so it's, to me, I don't like it. I don't want to drive around like this all the time. So hopefully you can see some of and I'll shut up for once in a while, but hopefully you can hear some of the vibration, the noise that comes through. This is my second set of Progress CS2 coilovers. The first set I owned was on a 94 to 2001 Integra, and it really felt the same. Progress, they offer a range of spring stiffnesses for a single set of dampers, and so that damper is designed to work within a range of spring spring rates. And it ranges, I believe, from 250 pounds. No, I think it's 350 pounds. I forgot. Check it out online. But it ranges from, let's say, anywhere from 350 pounds all the way up to God knows what. Which is cool. And I don't know what spring rate is on this car specifically. I do imagine it's about 350 in the back, 450 in the front. And again, I'll post later when I take these off and I switch them in for the max speeding rods. I'll confirm the weight. I'll post a text in the video, but they are a little bit too stiff for me. The road here is rather nice. It's nicely paved, but once you're driving on harsh roads, it's bad, man. And it was like this on my Integra as well. And that's not a knock on Progress, because you have to overcome a few things. You have to make the coilover perform, but at the same time, they want it comfortable. And those are almost conflicting things. You almost cannot have both. There are some technologies nowadays, I believe, you can have kind of both, but we're talking about two different spectrums. And I believe that any coilover who plays the middle ground is going to never going to be good at anything. It's going to be like okay at everything. You see what I'm saying? Because you're hitting the middle ground. And so there's a lot of coilovers nowadays as, hey, either like full-on comfort, or I think they try to get to full-on comfort, or really good comfort, or full-on track. And a lot of guys opt for the track one because the full-on comfort is pretty much stock. You're heading towards stock, and what stock is, it's like trying to get the softest springs off the shelf that will lower your car. And so we're at a stop right now. So I know I was blabbering the whole time, but maybe you could hear the difference in sound. Yeah, I was blabbering the whole time. But we're about to hit the 5 freeway. We're gonna go 5 north from Brookhurst, so right by Disneyland in California. And so you get to hear some of the bumps. But that freeway, until we get to LA, it's gonna be pretty smooth. But we're gonna hit LA, and you're gonna see the roughness, because LA is crazy like that. And I'll do it my best to actually drive over some of the rough spots. I usually avoid rough spots just by instinct, but I'll do my best to actually drive over some of the rough spots. And you'll see why I don't like it. My brother-in-law lives in Whittier, and when we head down to go visit him, it's just like hell. It's like it's crazy. So I'm going like 30 miles an hour in a 45. I apologize. Yeah, I'm that guy. But you gotta pay to play. And so I'll try to shut up when we go over like rough spots, just so you can hear the vibrations. Of course, the coilover handles amazing. We're going to go through this loop right here, and the car feels amazing. But most of the time, I mean, we're driving in California, we're in traffic, and we're going straight. So I know it's cool to have like a really good performing coilover, but in practical senses, it's just not. Oh my gosh! So it's like I'm barely loading up the suspension, but it feels amazing. And that was like I was taking that turn at maybe 30 miles an hour, and it feels amazing. I really do. I wish I could take this to a track, like a small track like Adams and Riverside, just to show you how it feels. I probably will one day. I'll probably switch over the setups again and do that. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that before I take these off and switch on for the max speeding rods, because that's something I'm very excited to feel the way those feel. And one thing about Progress coilovers is what they look like. They don't look like they're produced in the same factories as a lot of these new Chinese or Taiwanese made coilovers are. And again, that's not a knock on China or Taiwan manufacturing, because as I stated in my previous video, they actually, I believe, have better manufacturing than the US. I state that in my videos. And before China, we could talk crap all day about Chinese products because of low quality, but really that's not the case anymore. And your favorite manufacturer gets their stuff made over there. And they actually have better manufacturing technology for those things than we do. Name a coilover that's made in the US, that's manufactured in the US. You probably can. You probably can, but it's gonna be very expensive. And they know who they are. You know who they are. You're the big boys, and you're gonna pay big bucks. So that's the landscape. So we're still, it's smooth sailing. I'll shut up. It's really smooth on the freeway right now. I do hear a lot of noise. We're still around OC. We're in Buena Park right now, so it's all good. Once we hit LA, it's like North Whittier. It's not so fun. This is like the light gray pavement, just so you know what I'm dealing with. So again, I'm talking about this because it's going to be a road car. And I'm riding on Nitto Neogens too, brand new Nitto Neogens. So I just want you to know the context and why I sound like I'm complaining about really good coilovers. And I really am curious to see how these max speeding rods stack up to this. It's not going to be the most fair comparison because I'm also, these are perhaps lowered to their maximum range, if not beyond them. I know for a fact that if I raise the car, and I did this in my Integra, I raised the car right to the middle of the range, their recommended lowering range, and the car, it just felt so much better. But if you know these cars, you know that when you put it to that sweet spot, it looks okay. I'm just being honest, you know, I like the way my car looks when it's low, and if I raise it, I don't think it'll look as good. That's what it is. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are in the same boat as me, which is why. So these max speeding rod coilovers, they have independent height adjustability, so that when you, in the sense, okay, let me explain. In the sense that when you lower them, it doesn't compress the spring. So you have consistent spring rate or spring stiffness, no matter how high or low you set it. And that's something that I like about that coilover, which is why I'm excited to see how it is. And I wish these coilovers, Progress, would implement a system like that. But again, you're talking about changing their engineering that's been around for decades, literally decades, that has worked for them. And you're going to talk about a large price increase as well. They're very affordable coilovers. So I love Progress, I love what they do, but for my individual needs, it may not fit the bill. Again, I don't know until I try different coilovers. And most coilover, these things are expensive. Car parts are expensive. We're talking $600, $700, $800, which is why I make this video, because not a lot of you can purchase Progress coilovers and try them out. So this is what I'm doing it for. Not a lot. I don't know how people actually even buy Progress anymore. Most people buy like $300 coilovers. which is like the max speeding rods, which is why I want to give them a shot, because they're affordable coilover. In my other video I reviewed their build quality, and to be honest, I was looking at different brands today. It seems like a lot of different brands are using the same, I don't know how to say, manufacturing lines. The same, looks like, because the setup of these coilovers that all these other companies are releasing for upwards of $800, they look the same as the max speeding rods. So what I'm inclined to believe is that some dude said, "What's up? Hell yeah." So what I'm inclined to believe is that people are having their stuff made in the same factories, doing their own valving, doing their own tuning, and then selling the setup as a premium setup for $800 to $1,000 and up. If that's the case, then max speeding rods is probably one of the best values you can get. And so once I get those on, and once I give them a go and break them in, which is going to be a month or two, and get some kind of impression about them, then we can make a video about it, and I will do that. So we're still smooth sailing right now. This is smooth freeway. We're not in really LA yet. Actually, we did pass Whittier, but the freeways are still smooth. Good job, LA, in this area at least. I'm gonna hit the 605. I'm gonna head through El Monte, or El Monte, and we're gonna see how they are. El Monte. I'm gonna chill behind these big rigs so I can take it smoothly. So one thing I want you to notice right now is that it's relatively quiet for, I mean, I'm driving in a hatchback, and so the rear shock towers and the whole trunk area where a lot of the noise might be coming through is exposed to the cabin noise, exposed in the cabin. It may be different on a sedan or coupe. Probably is, logically, right? Because you have a whole seat and a trunk back there to isolate the noise. You have a little dampened box. It's not bad. It's really acceptable. It's really nice right now, actually. It's still a little bit bumpy, but that's normal for a coilover system. It's normal for me. That's what my experience is. So I don't expect anything. It's nothing unusual, but I want to see if I can get the smoothest ride, the least noise. I want to see if I can get the best of both worlds. I don't think that's really entirely possible, but we'll see. But definitely with this Progress coilover, in my experience, you cannot get the best of both worlds. There is just none. It is like very difficult to do. We're talking about two contrasting. So we're 605. It's gonna be fun with the bumps. driving on pretty smooth roads without like broken potholes and things like that, this is really acceptable. Just putting that out there. Unfortunately, oh yeah, that lane's bad. That's where all the trucks are, that's why. But if you're on smooth road, entirely acceptable. Most of the roads in California, let me go into the rough lane where all the trucks are. So most of the roads in California are patched up. So here we go. And this is still not even that bad. It's really just a noise. I think that if I had some kind of damping material, it would fix a lot of these issues. It's not that bad. Most of the roads in California are not good. From where I am. And I know if you're a young guy or young gal, you probably think I'm a little wuss right now. I am, because I've ramped up preferences. And when you're young, you don't care. You're just like riding around on like 50K springs or whatever. See, that's the thing. They sell Swift 50K springs or whatever, 50K springs. That's just like riding around on a freaking solid bar. But your preferences change when you get older, man. I don't know how these old heads are like riding around or stuff like that. It's just not fun. It's not it. After a while, you're like, okay. That's why us dudes, we like start to buy like CRVs and vans and stuff like that. Okay, so maybe you're starting to hear the roughness right now. We're getting to like San Gabriel Valley, heading to San Gabriel Valley, where like in the middle of LA. Not the middle, but you know, closer to the middle of LA. I need to make another video on why you should swap your engine, especially in California. Because I'm doing good right now, and trust me. Okay, it's rough. I'm just gonna shut up for a second. And just to note, it is not necessarily the suspension's fault. And by the way, this car has all good bushings. All bushings are good. It's not necessary to note, and rubber. No, I don't think there's any ounce of polyurethane on this car yet. So just to note, it's not entirely the suspension's fault, or it's not entirely the suspension. Okay, the interior panels make a difference too. This car, if you ever felt these interior panels, they're like little thin sheets of ABS. There's really no foam back there to dampen any sound. And I'm pretty sure it's like the plastic panels that are like vibrating and making noises. Just FYI. But it is what it is. If you have this car, you hear what you hear. You see what I'm saying? So if I were to go through and put some foam around everything and put all the sound dampening back, then maybe it'll sound better, but I don't know what percentage of us Honda owners are actually going to do that. Some of you guys even rip out your interiors in the back. At best, some of you just leave it the way it is and have actually complete interior. That's actually a low percentage probably too. Mine's not complete. But it's a thing. So if I were to like put foam in all my stuff and try to get the interior back to stock quality, fitment, if not better, then it's still not, it's not accurate, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not representative of what we're doing. So again, it's acceptable. I think in my mind, before I made the video, it was a lot worse, but it's acceptable. Another thing to know about even the same chassis is that a coupe, whether you have a coupe, sedan, or hatchback, will make a big difference. I don't know if it's a big difference, but it'll make a difference. Because the hatchback has a shorter wheelbase, has literally next to no weight over those rear coilovers, and has an exposed cabin. All those things together make the hatchback probably make the hatchback probably one of the platforms out of the 3 EG chassis. Here's all the rough stuff. With the most road noise and let's just say NVH. Here we go. This, I'm going 45 right now. I don't like it. It's not bad, but I don't like it. We'll see how it's doing. We're heading on 60 west. West, if you're not from Cali, eventually gets to the middle of LA. So basically, I was heading from OC, and I'm heading towards the middle of LA. OC is Orange County. Generally, Orange County is nicer than LA in terms of roads, because it's less crowded and possibly better management. Oh yeah, this thing needs some rear sway bar, lady. But these oh my gosh, these Progress coilovers handle really well. Very confident. Very confident. I don't want to, take that turn too hard. I was behind one of those newer Honda Accords, and I was gaining on him a little bit. I know it's probably some normal person driving that. So I know they were taking that turn comfortably, and I was kind of gaining on him. I could feel it. I don't think I was loading up the suspension at all. I was probably more loading up the tires. But feels good. But you're going pretty quick. In this car, you're going pretty quick. And what I think about that is, what I'm trying to say is that on this car, a softer suspension wouldn't really hurt for the road. So again, I think this one has a 450, 350. That's kind of like middle of the road for the Progress coilovers. And that's about equivalent to 8K, 6K. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll put a text in the video. But the max speeding rods that I'm going to put on are, I think, 8K, 6K as well. So it's relatively equivalent in that respect. But it's smooth, right? It's pretty smooth right now. There's some road noise, but again, that's because I'm in a hatchback, and there's pretty. I think the model I'm in, I think it's a TX. There's no that sound deadening material. Guys like to take that out anyway. It looks cleaner. They can paint their whole interior. I'm going like 55. I love 155. This car, I really do need to make a video about not swapping your engine. This is stock. I don't even have an intake on this thing. It's stock. Well, I'm taking my exit, everybody, and to be honest, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, ladies and gentlemen. But I just wanted to give you a quick video about the Progress CS2, just because that coilover is really priced at a good price point. They're under $800, and it's a tried and true setup. The technology is a few decades old, which is fine. I mean, if it works, it's a performance coilover. It performs well on the track. And I just wanted to give you an idea of how those feel, look at this guy, on the road before I take them off. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bye-bye.